Hello, everyone. Well, I'll try to keep this video as short as I can. I've got many pages here, but only got stuff wrote on one page, so it shouldn't be too long. uh, so, again, we can just look at this. It looked like, it's extensive in many pages. However, it really is only one. So, very importantly, before I begin, as we always know, uh, the mantra of the day is keep high vibes, keep in your neutral zones when observing negativity playing out around you. Uh, for all of you by now, you know that you are on more than one timeline. Most of you are straddling 4D, which you can identify as the mundane, and 5D as the magic. But I guess we should say the triality. And when I say the triality, we have the upper echelon of 4D we're constantly working upon, assisting others, dealing with some of your own things, minor trivial things to get out of the way on that, uh, so that you can sustain a full-time presence in the 5D, one of the lower 5Ds. And so that is two. The third one is a higher 5D or 6D, 7D, whatever you wish to call it, where the magic is at that we experience. Hey, Jen. Um, again, trying times sometimes when you get down in the density. For some of you, the first thing you need to do when you're down in the 4D, when you get delivered there, is transmute the negative, turn it to the positive. And I know it's an ongoing, tedious process, but again, there is pots of gold at the ends of many rainbows. You know that. You've been showing that through your divine experiences, and they are abounding, becoming more proficient, more prevalent is the word. Yeah. So you know it's real and you know it's true. However, we're still here. I know. And I can bear with you. And again, I'll reiterate what I said last night during Linda's and our interview we did. As Father says, two words: transitional process for us. So, meaning that we are transitioning. Most of you watching this, you got your most of your stuff done with. So, as to not inundate and let's say continuously coming out with lives and interviews that that after a while they'll mean nothing to you because it's just all what you heard before. For those of you that keep working on what you're doing and going forward, but also please understand fully that this is a transitional process with many levels of new ones awakening every day. And again, uh, if you will, those I assist range from what you would call 4D right, yeah, up higher. So uh, there is no particular level or group that I am designated to. Actually, it's all. So having said that, sometimes I'll say things that resonate with you. There might be new things, and some other times there may not. So, anyhow, so we try to keep broadcasts short. Um, Upcoming, I'll get on to the list here. So upcoming in our interviews with Linda and I have been working together on many interviews, and I believe and feel good that that will continue here into the future and futures. Thanks, Dad. He corrected me. There's more than one future. There's, I don't know, a whole bunch. But nevertheless, what we will be doing is broadcasting in many languages, and we alluded to this before. And hi, everyone. And I see your comments, but I'm not taking questions. I got a big list there to do. So we're broadcasting. It's my understanding at least 49 languages when we do our lives that you'll be able to access. In the past, the YouTubes in a closed caption sort of way of having it translated for you through YouTube, but we are also working on a new, perhaps instantaneous translation that when we're doing a live, you can have it translated verbatim as we are doing that. So that may be coming very soon, and we do need to do that to extend our reaches globally with us. So again, and on the Real Angels page, I mentioned last night, we are constructing that as we go along. There's a lot of hard work put into that, and my utmost gratitude for Garnet Bailey and just facilitating so many things on the technical side of it. It's just so, I am so pleased and grateful that Garnet is here to assist us, as well as all of the amends and, you know, all of you and everyone joining together to assist and to strengthen, you know, this ascension, the unity, and to support each other. So it is so beautiful, as ones of you know this. Yeah, yeah, that's Hung. That's my great friend. Oh dear Lord, Hung says, why aren't you in bed? Yeah. Well, Hung, Father seems like he's got me up for the night watches, so I sleep most of the day and am up most of the night, while you guys are sleeping most of the night and up all day. So anyhow, let's get back to this list, huh? So currently, very important with what this very strong feminine aspect is doing here at this time. It is also, us males are also affected. As you can see, my hair is messed up. My belly is bloated up, you know, from the side effects of the energy of Gaia. What we're doing again, you know, we are birthing a more of another new timeline right at this time, and it's birthed through energetics. But having said that, you know, you stronger females that have been doing this for a while, you do receive the energetic effects of it. And it's kind of cool, but I'm sharing with you that some of us masculine, we also, because we're connected with Gaia, we get some of the effects as well. But it doesn't last, as you know. So it's very important what's currently happening with the feminine at this time. Again, you know, we had an excellent interview last night looking at, we give the background of how the feminine was, you know, intentionally suppressed for so long. And we had to give that aspect because to also appreciate and show how much the feminine has risen and how they are actually leading this charge. You know, it's because of the overall feminine that actually allowed for the ascension to reach the stages that it did and keep going forward. It's not to degrade or depreciate any of the masculine aspect, but it is knowing, the feminine strength on doing this. Now, having said this, we are going forward very, very rapidly right in this now. There are big things that are setting up globally, and the feminine are, let's say, being more pronounced and putting themselves forward and out there, and what they are doing to affect much quicker change. And we're seeing indication of this, one couple little things I mentioned before. Well, they're not little, I shouldn't say that. I should say that I only put a little bit out. That would be the better description of what the feminine are actually doing. So you got the feminine on the front lines. Now these girls are all powered up, along with, a 25% masculine supporting them as they keep going forward. But when they're on the front lines, they need to be as strong as they can. And we all work as a team with this. So while you have portions of the feminine out on the front lines in the 4D, instituting and seeding the change, there is a kickback from that energy that you have these ones out. Get my hands there because I'm backwards. You got these ones on the front line, but there's a kickback of comes back to other powerful fields that are just sitting here and they need to transmute that energy. Energy it takes up space, it takes up time, it is a real thing. So it needs to be transmuted. So these feminine that are going forward, they are powered right up to do that. And any cleansing that they need to do is passed back through the collective to certain powerful feminine and masculine ones that are just in the background as support to take that, so that they can keep going very far forward with this. So just a kind of an explanation on, occurring with that. So for many, you're back, perhaps, watching what's going on your computers, and or you're at home, keeping in touch, whatever way that you keep up with things. Some of you might have been perhaps heavily laden with density that, seemed to come out of nowhere. Well, what I'm saying, some of that density for you, the more powerful ones, was that kickback. So transmute that energy as well, and change the polarity of it is how you transmute it. You recognize it in your bodies. You feel heavy, you feel the density, you feel the air thick perhaps. Well, what you do is use your mentality, identify that it's not you, that identify it as you're transmuting. You know that it is negatively charged, it's dense and it's heavy. So use your mentality to switch the polarity, transmute it so that it's positive energy, and then let it go from you. And do this with your mind and remain adamant at doing it. For ones of you that do not do this, that are trying it, just keep trying it. It gets stronger. The stronger you become, the stronger your prowess is, that you can transmute negative and dense energy at a more rapid rate. So we keep raising in vibration. The more we raise up, the stronger you become. So keep trying it, and also the more you use your gifts, then the stronger they become. And it's very important to believe in your gifts and yourself, because that is linked to your manifestation abilities. And if you don't believe you can do it or don't believe in yourself, well, guess what? That negativity and density is not going to leave you anytime soon. So I'm sharing with you how to do this. And yes, it's so important. She just, I think it was Carolyn, yeah, Carolyn Roberts, yeah, thank you. Together at this time, again, also, you know, if you're transmuting and trying to clear density, if it's lingering in you, connect with some of your higher, like-minded friends, you know, and that is part of your support group as well, to get rid of this density. No one wants this any longer than it needs to be there. So it's best, as soon as it comes, recognize it and deal with it and get it out of there with whatever tools you need. And if it's kind of dense, that it's separating your knowledge, separating you from your divine knowledge of how to do it, at least you'll remember to connect with someone and that knows about this. Then together you can clear it. And it assists in bringing your memory back as well, because as you know, in the past, for many of you, the density brings the veil back down, and you forget. So again, these are some tips with that, and that is currently happening for very important reasons. The feminine are indeed ready to go forward. They are already doing it. We are amidst of it. We're seeing some, I'm seeing some indications of that. I know it is so. And also I know you do as well, for those that are following those aspects. So it's very real. It's happening. Yeah. Okay, so another thing, for the more of you, the ones that are advanced in receiving the transmissions, and let's say the channelings, and you know, connecting, what has been occurring over the last week or two, your transmissions, what you're receiving, your telepathic channeling and communication, what you will find is a lot of it is same stuff that you have delivered out before. So what you're finding, it's a repeat, that it's a reiteration, but in a refreshing of that old information. But what you need to know is that daily, and you know, perhaps even by the minute, we have so many more awakening that are entering the levels to be channelers as well for the other parts of the awakening masses. So this is an ongoing process. So for instance, in 2012 you had 1,100 channelers worldwide. Let's say today you got maybe 5,000. So it's an ongoing process, and you do have a certain aspect of the awakened ones becoming channelers and delivering the divine messages to the other ones. So having said that, it is, these messages are delivered to a collective consciousness, a collective conscious Christ consciousness. And so some of you that's been channeling for years, you'll be getting a repeat of stuff you already put out. And I know this because I received it as well. And I just given the understanding of why it's coming. It's because there are new ones that are part of the collective that are starting to receive their messages, the same as some of you did. And so they are being given the the information we already know to deliver to the new ones that will be following them for the other subsequent waves, you may wish to say. But I will say, we looked at it first, as the first wave and the second wave and then the third wave. But what I'm seeing really now is that it's just an upward trend, that there really is no trough between the waves like it was before. We're just constantly going up. So having said that, everything's happening much more rapidly. So essentially, that's what's occurring there. Some of you are receiving the messages that were repeats. That's why it's not for you, but you're part of the collective. So perhaps it may be useful to, rehash that and look at it at an individual basis. If not, just continue on. So another smoke. Yeah, they're natural. Okay, so presently, and I've been putting a little bit out to this effect on the 4D. What I look at is 4D episodes transitioning into the 5D. So for instance, if we look at the Yellow Vest protests, pipeline protests, all very important things, but they are the part of the transition from the 4D paving the way into the 5D. So they're very important, what is occurring. But please understand that there is a sort of a distinction with them, meaning that the reason you are observing them and experiencing them, that they are part of your realities, is because you're to energetically affect those, and some of you might be in there deeper to do it, to assist on those levels, but they need to be cleared for the 5D level. So that is the process, what is occurring with that. So having said that, again, very important to keep the eye on the indigenous peoples in North America, because we are all one with this, and they are an important aspect of this ascension. Our comrades there, for in many ways, they have planted the seeds to assist in this overall ascension. And I don't wish to get too deep into that, but because I could go and say so much, but what I wish to remind everyone is the importance of everyone, but most importantly, indigenous peoples. They are so important to religion and anything in that respect, because mostly it's the sovereignty aspect as well is what they are energizing, and which is part of you. It's the sovereignty. So you are all connected to this as well as a whole, because anything upon the surface that is repressive or suppressive, anything that is negative, anything that is not of good intent, it implodes. And everything needs to be and will be and is being changed to anything of good intent is divinely supported. So what you will see with any protests and demonstrations, you'll see them growing, and the masses fully supporting them. And because it is fully indicative of the times we are in, and you will see it grow, and in many ways. So so again, we exist on multiple timelines, so it's important again to to always know that, because you can apply that to so many things that's happening around you and to you very rapidly, and it also assists you in overcoming any negative aspects or any anchors or any hindrance with that, and also any distractions. Don't be distracted by 4D things that could drain you of the energy, or that you don't need to be into. Okay, belief systems. I need to bring this up again. It's so important that you do not restrict yourself to any one belief system on these lower timelines. You need to retain your divine belief system. But what I'm saying, on the timelines while you're in the humanoid form, you have to keep open. Yeah, and I say you have to. I'm not saying I suggest. You have to keep open to the evolution of your belief system as you raise in different levels of the ascension, where there are different perspectives, higher knowledge, and understanding how things really work on the energetic level. And again, with divinity is energy. That's the way everything works. That's the way to look at it. But keep your mind open so that you keep advancing. Do not attach firmly and fully to any one belief here. Actually, it may be most beneficial not to attach to any historical beliefs, other than, one of the main ones is the representation of the Christ. Keep that intact, because that is connected to going forward and connected to God. But what I'm saying, a lot of the belief systems, not saying that they are wrong, but when we start looking at the Anunnaki, those beliefs and many of those things, it's perhaps better just to remain neutral and allow yourself to go forward, because actually what we need to do to fully enter and integrate within the higher timelines, where a much more beautiful history is there, absent of slavery and all of these sort of things. Well, what you need to do is to change what happened in the past and let it go. Because if you keep these beliefs in there, when you're creating new things, then you're going to have your new things tainted by these sort of beliefs that they no longer serve you. They no longer serve us. It's not what we're creating. So keep neutral on those. And what I'm saying is, don't have a strong attachment to them. Keep your mind and your heart open to new things that resonate, and trust your heart on that. With new things, to discern what is for you, and that you recognize it's something that is taking you higher. And it's so important. We want to keep going up. We don't want to become stagnant, or slip back down to that 4D. So again, it doesn't occur, but this is to assist you going higher quicker. Whatever I can give and others can give to that effect. It's great. So it is so important with that. Dragons, that dragon energy, we got upcoming information and knowledge on that. It's very real. I know many of you are being introduced to the dragon energy with synchronicities in respect to that. Those are your first inclinations that it is connected to the ascension in your divinity. But again, it's connected because it's a very strong belief. It is because it's backed by great numbers of the population that believe in the dragon energy and know it's real, and they also kept dragon energies alive. So having said that, anyone that was in what you would call malevolent dragon energies or suppressive dragon energies, anyone that was in those will transition into the good great white dragon energy, is what I was told to call it. The ones that don't transition into it, they very rapidly implode because their power is diverted. Their dragon energy, because of ill intent, is diverted right back to them directly. So they will implode very rapidly. And it's, again, divine energy is here upon the surface. Anything, any energy or any intent, any belief that is not of good intent for all, it implodes. And it's pretty simple. That's all you need to know in that respect. So we keep doing the good things, you know, and don't be selfish. Assist whoever you can, but also it's not self as well. So you need to empower yourself to be more effective in assisting others. So that is the good intent associated with that. If you need to take time for yourself, go out in the woods for a day or two, do it. You need to do that. You're not any good to others if you're weak. So you need to keep yourself strong as well. And don't let anyone bring your energy down. Separate from it. You can say no. Don't give your consent away. Don't be taken advantage of. It's very important as well that you practice your divine sovereignty, and I guess you could say right in that respect. So, higher teachings coming soon. I've said this a few times in the past, but there is divine timing with this. I had actually anticipated having more of an instruction manual, if you will, out on some of the new higher gifts and new techniques, but there is divine timing with that. It still has occurred, and all I can say is soon when I am to put it out. And because there is the overall divine plan that I must comply with, I'm not given times with that. I am just open and flexible to fit in there when the door opens for me to deliver what I'm allowed to share. So I don't try to control that. The other way, I'm controlled by the universe, and I am flexible, and you can say I'm a servant of that universal flow in that respect. So again, I guess you are reminded and encouraged to remember patience, and that virtue, always have that. Even though we're excited and we anticipate things, you know, get done rather soon, there is always a divine reason and a divine time for these. And we don't wish to try to control that, because if we do, that doesn't work. So we go, it's best to leave the control with divinity and the universe that are hitting up the full plan. And Just be a part of it and go with that flow. It's much easier. Swim with the flow. Don't swim against it and don't swim away from it. Is what I can say in that respect. So, pretty well. Ships, yeah. I know of some sharing about ships and sightings. There's just so much going on at this time. I know I am inundated with divine work, speaking with others, phone, and busy and online. There's many messages that I have not got back to yet. I'm on linear time here, and there may be many of these messages that I will not get back to. So if there's anything important, I encourage you to perhaps reiterate a message to me, and there is no guarantee that I can get back to you because sometimes, things get inundated. I'm still here in a physical form. There are certain things I need to do for myself, like, comb my hair sometime, right? So, you know what I mean? So just saying, I do my best with what I have, and I know everything is divinely correct with that. So we will be doing some interviews coming up, Linda and I again, and there may be perhaps in the near future a few other interviews on different topics with some others. I am feeling that it may be important for a certain interview to also be done on ones that were targeted. It's not really for you stronger ones that, you were targeted, you come through all that, you recognized it. But what it will be for is that there are more that will be raising out of that level in, let's say they have chosen to, it was their divine time to raise above them being a target, and that they received more knowledge of why they were a target and what was going on, at least to a limited degree. But where I come in and fill the gap and explain more why they were targets. So we have more of those getting ready to rise up out of the ashes, if you will. So having said that, hey, here's South Africa. Nolene. Hey, great. So having said that, I may do an upcoming show on that. But for all intents and purposes, I wish to keep going forward, leading everyone forward as much as I can in respect to sharing what I'm allowed to share at certain times. We don't wish to be stagnant. We don't wish to spend the rest of your life transmuting energies. No one wants to do that. You want to get this done. You want to make the change, get your job done and get out of here. So that is my focus as well. Advance so many of you by sharing what I know, and all of you as well. Many of you know many divine things, so share that with as many, as you can. More hands make light work. So, but you do what resonates with you as well. But any way that you can contribute, it does assist. So great. That's long enough. 39 minutes and 22 seconds. Where does time go? I guess it doesn't exist, does it? But we'll get there. It doesn't. We're on linear time here, so anyhow. So just quickly, we may be doing, I'm going to, I believe I mentioned it to Linda last night as well. We may do a question and answer episode to that effect in the future. I believe on the Real Angels page that Janelle Cameron and Shara Piccola Hartman, they may be doing something to that effect on January 12th or 11th, 12th, I believe. So if any of you are interested in that on the Real Angels page, you may see a sort of a question and answer one there. I have the utmost respect and support for Sharon and Janelle. In any venture they partake in that direction, they're fully qualified from my respect, and both two amazing, powerful, feminine representatives, and so they may assist with some of you as well if you wish to entertain that. So anyhow, I love you, and all kinds of winks. I didn't give you any of them, but let's say the time is right for lots of winks. So love you, all kinds of peace, kisses, and yeah, hugs. Let's party on. We got this. We just don't know how long it's going to take. So, but bear with it. We know it's real. We know it's true. We know it's tangible. So we got that much under our belts. Now we just need to know when. And as Father says, it's close at hand, whatever that may mean. So I love you all. Have a great evening, morning, day, wherever you are. And woohoo, we're going forward.